Hey everybody, Joey with Tactical Response here. Thanks for watching. So today what I'm going to talk to you about is the Tactilode, which Michael over there was kind enough to send some of these our way. So this is one on one of our 870s that we use to loan out during our shotgun classes, compared to one of these Magpul stocks. This is what we have on them at the moment. So what we're going to do is get these swapped out. Maybe leave one of these Magpul stocks on one of the loaners, so that way we can have students compare the two and get some honest feedback on it. But if you guys want my feedback so far, then I would say that this thing is pretty awesome. I had a lot of fun running it. So I shot it a bunch. Tim was out there. He shot it some. He gives some of his feedback on it. And then Barb was out there as well, and Barb was in love with this thing, and I kind of agree with her sentiment. I think that at the bare minimum, if all it was a way of carrying 5 extra rounds on your shotgun effectively, then it's already worth it. But I do think that it offers a little bit of benefits. So if you were like trying to pick between a side saddle or a Tactilode, I don't know why you would, because I would just have both. But if you were going to have to pick, I would honestly, I'm kind of in the camp of leaning toward the Tactilode. So a little bit of background on this. Michael, we bumped into him at SHOT Show. Lewis was impressed with it on the show floor right then and there. And so Michael reached out and said, hey man, if you want us to send you some, we'd love for you guys to test them out. Tell us what you think. And again, I think this thing is awesome. We've got some footage of us running out there, all and everything like that. So I think port loading from it is easier. I think that some of the issues you can have with side saddles, especially the ones with just the webbing, this elastic that's on there, these things can, as they get older, they can end up getting, especially if you use them a lot, they end up getting stretched out and loose, and then when you start rolling around on the ground, I've seen it plenty of times in fighting shotgun where the shells come off of the side saddle. So there's that. But outside of that, when we first posted the short, we had a few people back in January who, when we showed this, they were like, didn't Mossberg have something like that? And it wasn't put it bluntly, a piece of shit, right? And so a lot of people were worried about it, and Michael sent a letter kind of giving their background on it, and he started designing this thing because the dude has 27 years of law enforcement experience. And not only that, but his 3 partners who co-own the business with him are all U.S. Army veterans as well. So guys, if you're trying to support a company, if they have a product that's in your, like what you're looking for, and you know that it's veteran owned and made in the United States, like that should at least give you a place to start. So there's that for you. But anyway, whenever he was instructing, he was trying to teach people how to use that Mossberg, what was it called? The Speed Feed, later rebranded to the Plus 4. He had some problems with it, that it was tough to teach and tough to use. And so he has directly addressed those issues with the design of this. So anyway, I'm super impressed with it. We've taken it to the range, we've beaten it up, but I will say, from being on the range, just standing and shooting, I really enjoyed running this compared to the side saddle. I do think it's a little bit quicker. We went out there, we did a side-by-side of it, and I don't know if it's a noticeable difference, but it feels better. And I've had a lot of reps with the side saddle loading method. I have not had near as much pulling from this Tactilode. I mean, the time on the range is about all I had in this video. All right, so now it's time for the Tactilode, and actually Shelton pointed out to me in between takes right there that one of the shells fell out of the shotgun card while I was shooting. And that is something that you can run into with those elastic ones, or sorry, the ones with the elastic shotgun cards, because that elastic, especially if they're older, especially if they're used a lot, like taking the shells in and out for practice, it can end up stretching. And so I just ran into one of the problems versus having them all contained in one thing. I'm expecting right now, just from the little bit that I shot this earlier, that this is going to feel better at the very least. We'll see as far as time is concerned if it's any better or not, but let's see what we got. The one thing that I will say is is for our one-handed manipulations, just in the way that we do that drill. We base it off of the FBI shootout, Morales over there. And so what we do is we, shoot the gun, slam it down onto the ground to help the pump kick that shell that's in there, that spent cartridge. And then we grab from our side saddle or a pile next to us and we port load, run it forward, and we shoot some more. With the Tacti-Load, when it's between my legs like that, I had a hard time at first getting to the ammunition that was in there. I mean, you can fix that. I mean, it's probably, if I went out there and did it more, I'd probably find a way of keeping it stable to where I could still grab the shell and everything like that.
When you rack it open, leave it. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Ooh.
It's all right.
I like having it down here as opposed to the sidecar.
Side
saddle thing.
Okay.
It's more accessible, and I feel like it's more stable. I really like this stock better for me.
Okay, very good.
There you go.
A lot better, because look, my ear pro never came off.
Right.
My accuracy was better. I mean, I've been doing some more reps since I ran shotgun, but I like this better.
Okay, fair enough. So the question was, did the method work? The method worked fine for her, and she likes where those shells are at to do that. The stock is a more fuller stock, and Joey mentioned this in the classroom, is that a lot of times when you mount a shotgun, to get it right, you'll have a lot of the stock out of your shoulder, maybe just what we call the heel, the very bottom part of this, in your shoulder, because to get it up to your face. This shotgun seems to facilitate getting more of that stock in your shoulder when you start, so that's a better idea. And for a female, because their pocket's smaller than ours is up here, where we got between the collarbone and our chest down here, our ribs, theirs is smaller pockets, so they have an even more tough time with a standard stock that is not beating them to death. So she likes the stock, the configuration of the stock, the width, and I'll tell you this recoil pad they have on is very, very good as well. They didn't go cheap on the recoil pad, so I like that. My only criticism to Joey before I start shooting this gun, and maybe the criticism can be taken off the table now, is the weight of it. The weight of the whole thing when you get the ammo in there. But having said that, if it's a home defense gun, I'm not packing it around out in the street, so that's not going to be an issue anyway. But
and I'm not shaking after doing it. So
right, and I looked at this when Joey had me put this stock on this. This is one of our rental guns. We needed to put me the stock on here. I was looking at the spring down here, the magazine spring in it, and I told him it looks like a 700 Remington internal magazine spring, which is real thick and real good spring. So I think the spring will last as well. You feel it and you go, it's not very like, there's not a lot of resistance there, but it pushes the next shell up fine. And I'm with Joey, I kind of like the way you pull this thing out and it pulls straight out, and you can get where you don't have to look at it. It's like anything else. If you do it enough, I can reach back here and do it without looking. So I'm okay with that. So my take on this thing right now, is I think it's a good piece of kit. That's my take on it so far. Now, I'd like to see it run through a multiple day class to see if there's any issues with it. But at this point, I don't see anything that stands out at me that would be an issue. But I'd like to, the next time we have a shotgun class, I'm gonna throw this in the students' hands for the 2-day class and let him tell me if there's any issues with it at the end of the 2 days.
With these Magpul stocks, what I have noticed is bringing the gun up to my eye leaves me with just a tiny little bit actually on my shoulder. A lot of the stock is up high. The Tacti-Load is just a little bit wider. I think Barb measured it using her phone, fancy computer AI thingy that compares objects next to each other. But anyway, it is just like maybe a 1/4 inch wider, but just that extra 1/4 inch of getting into the pocket does make it feel easier to shoot. So there's that for you. Tim brings up the weight of it. I don't think that the weight, it is something to think about. I won't say that it's not important, but if you are using this in a home defense situation, you're not going to be carrying it around for very long. The weight becomes an issue if you are out carrying this thing for a long time, but it's honestly not that much heavier. I'd have to weigh both the guns. I haven't done that yet, so maybe I'll do that and post it, like post a comment and let you guys know what we find. But yeah, that's about it, guys. I had a lot of fun with this. I'm going to keep shooting it. The one thing that I didn't do that I would like to do is get some ground fighting stuff done. Heck, I may go out to the range today and get some ground fighting filmed now before we put this video out. So maybe none of this matters, what I'm about to say, but I want to get some ground fighting done with it because I didn't do that yet. And then the other thing is I really want to take a chance of it doesn't make sense. You know, it's not like it would be tactically sound, but I really want to go out there and just beat this while it's loaded, just like hammer it around. Because the only thing that I did do is slam it down to help, right, with that one-handed manipulations. You guys will see that in the video there. But I'd really like to get this loaded and then, like, I don't know, man, like throw it in the air. No, don't throw it in the air. But I would like to, you know, just give it a good jostling, you know, shake it around a bunch, kind of, you know, bang it up against a wall or something like that, and see if there's any issues with the placement, if it can knock anything loose in there. You know, all that good stuff. So I'd really like to get some torture testing done on it, all that good stuff. Anyway, that's about all I got for you guys. Again, I think this thing is awesome. If you're interested in it, you can head on over to their website, check it out. Again, I think that it is a excellent addition to your fighting shotgun. With that being said, thank you for watching. Don't forget, guys, liking and subscribing, all that good stuff. I've picked up saying all that good stuff instead of, and I'm still saying ums and uhs. Anyway, don't forget that liking and subscribing, sharing the videos, it does do a big help for us when it comes to the algorithm recommending us, so on and so forth. So if you haven't done that yet, please do so. And remember, your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.